Hey everyone, how are you today? This is another behind the scenes moments with Risovent. I just wanted to share with you some stuff, stuff that I'm working on, stuff that is obviously related to Risovent, related to the company. At the moment, I'm actually editing the second episode for Risovent podcast. And sorry, let me drink this for a second. So I'm drinking chamomile, if you must know, or as we call it in Arabic, babunaj. So, actually, before I share with you what I'm doing, I'm gonna share with you something that all trainers, all teachers, coaches must be aware of. Make sure you never ever eat spicy food or drink really hot drinks before you go teach a class or you train a group of employees or you coach someone. And I had a situation once, some time ago, when I used to work as a lecturer at the university. I remember I had an extremely hot coffee early in the morning. And of course, I always like to drink double espresso. And for some reason, I decided to drink a latte. And it was extremely, extremely hot. So it kind of burned my tongue. And I had a class at 9 o'clock in the morning. So, of course, I went to the class. I did my extreme best to, to deliver the class. I did deliver the session and everything went well. But like most of the time, sometimes I say things that like I could tell from the faces of my students, they didn't really get what I was saying or what I was trying to pronounce. And sometimes when I'm teaching, there are some difficult words, especially in the field of innovation or digital technology, that like you need to make sure that your tongue is not affected so you can pronounce that word. But yeah, I mean that happened and I learned my lesson. Never ever drink hot drinks or eat spicy food before you teach a class or you train employees or anyone. So this is just a quick tip for you. Like if one day you're gonna train or you're gonna by the way, and I understand a lot of trainers, what they do these days is when they give breaks, like 10 minutes break, 15 minutes break, in their workshop, they always provide coffee, biscuits, stuff like that, just light drinks basically before they resume the training session. Just make sure that the coffee is not too hot. Make sure you don't burn your tongue or something like that. I mean, that would be a big mistake, and of course, it will be extremely difficult to continue with the session. So yeah, that happened with me, and this is just a quick tip for all of you trainers, coaches, mentors, lecturers, professors out there. Yeah, it's just people really underestimate our voices, our tongues, basically, when it comes to training, because obviously if you can't talk, then how can you train? If you can't talk, how are you going to deliver a session at the university? So, yeah, I mean, this is just a just a quick thing that I just remembered, and yeah, just make sure you don't drink anything hot before you train. All right, so I'm just gonna have another sip, and I'm just gonna share with you what I'm doing. So let me share my screen here. So yeah, just oh, there we go. So yeah, I'm just editing the video, and yeah, it's going well so far. I mean, it's not. I mean, oh, this time actually, did I do a 1 hour? Oh yeah, I did a 1 hour and 15 minutes podcast because um in the first episode it was, I think it was about 42 minutes, 43 minutes. Yeah, so this episode is about mainly is about intentions to engage in an entrepreneurial behavior. And in this video I clarify the difference between entrepreneurial intentions and intrapreneurial intentions. So intra is intra, not entrepreneurial intentions. So there's a big difference between those two terms. And if you would like to know, of course, you need to watch the full podcast episode. So yeah, in this video I'm just I'm doing some editing. If you can see here in the video, I also talk about the theory of planned behavior. It was a major framework that I used in my research before, and it really helped me to understand not just the field of entrepreneurship education or the field of digital technology, but it really helped me to understand so many different other areas that you will always find this theory involved in those areas, like in digital technology or design innovation and so on. So yeah, theory of planned behavior, I explained it in full details in the video. So obviously you need to watch the full episode. And by the way, guys, I understand, like, so the thing is, what I do my podcasts using video long time ago, as I previously said in the other behind the scene video. I used to do the podcast as just an audio on Spotify, but I think we all know that it is much more effective if the podcast is done using video, because viewers will have the option either to watch and listen, or they could, like for example, now you could just simply minimize the video into like something on the side, and you can just continue doing what you're doing and listening to what I'm saying. Or you can just simply switch to another tab and just continue listening to the podcast or to the video in another tab. So obviously, every person has, their own circumstances or preference. Someone is brushing their teeth, someone is running outside, going to the gym. I'm one of those people, by the way. When I go to the gym or when I do something else, like, I usually like to listen while, like, especially in the gym, I listen to music, but at the same time I like to listen to podcast. It's just to help me to learn and yeah, I guess open my mind to new ideas, new thoughts. I always like to discover new stuff, explore different things. Yeah, I mean, the more the knowledge, the better the person you become. So that's very important. Mm. But anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, that's the theory of planned behavior. So and overall, that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I still have some editing to do. I guess a little bit of editing, if I have to be honest, not that much. But yeah, in this in this video, oh, look at me, I look a bit sad here. But anyway, in this video, I'm doing the same thing as the first episode, and I'm talking to ChatGPT, or what I like to call it, June, because what I did is that I created a prompt. Of course, ChatGPT helped me to also create that prompt. So I created this prompt, and it's a very highly detailed prompt that includes like a lot of details, constraints, stuff to say, stuff not to say, the how it needs to find sources. It needs to make sure the answers are reliable, not just an opinion. Sometimes could be an opinion. But I tried my very best to make the prompt to basically make the AI or ChatGPT speak or think or say that those kind of things, like a normal person, normal human being. Of course, I could have just simply brought someone into the podcast, and I could just simply just invited someone, and we could just have we could have just talked about so many different things. But I know we are heading towards a world where AI will play a major role. So I really didn't want to, I didn't want to invite anyone. Maybe later. I'm sure I will invite many people in the future. But I wanted to see how does it feel like, talking to an AI, especially when you try to conversate with an AI. By the way, have you guys tried talking to an AI system like ChatGPT or any other system? Let me know in the comments. Like, did you try to talk to it? Did you find it similar to talking to people? Obviously, for me, I don't find it. It's not exactly the same thing, because people, they usually interrupt you when you talk. and that's a normal thing, of course. It's better if someone doesn't interrupt you when you talk, but it's just a normal thing. Some people, they do it, especially if they're excited, they feel passionate about a topic. But yeah, it's I thought like maybe if I just um, talk to an AI and open a different topics with that AI. At least AI, it has access to sources, so maybe it can argue with me, maybe it can agree with me. I want to actually try to do some tweaks or modification to the prompt. Maybe I can make it a little bit more challenging. I can ask the AI, ChatGPT here, to always challenge my answers. Whatever answer I give, it must always challenge. It challenge me. It must always find that gap in my answer. Maybe I can just do that in order to make the episode more interactive, even more conversational than what it is. And yeah, I'll think about it. I'm gonna test it, see if it's gonna work. I'm gonna test the prompt, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. And another sip. Um, Speaking of prompts, first time I learned about prompt, I mean, it was like only during my free time, really. I started reading about prompt engineering and how it is important now in the world of AI and ChatGPT. And this was I remember I spent about 2 to 3 weeks learning about prompts, just to write prompts on ChatGPT. And I watched a lot of YouTube tutorials and videos, and I was just really interested in it because I was like, this is really, really interesting. Really interesting. I even created a GPT. It's called Professor of Entrepreneurship or Professor in Entrepreneurship. It was based on a long, long, long detailed prompt. And basically, when you give ChatGPT the role of a professor of entrepreneurship, sorry, and yeah, it's just it teaches in a specific way, it interacts in a specific way, it speaks in a specific way, and so on. I haven't looked into that GPT for a long time. I don't know if people are even using it. Maybe one day I'll see what like is someone really using it, because everything I added in that prompt was based on research, was based on my personal experience when I taught subjects related to entrepreneurship and innovation and digital technology. So um yeah, so what I'm trying to say is it's very important. If you still don't know anything about prompt engineering or you just heard about it, it's really, really important for you to learn about prompt engineering. Uh, I know some people, they say, no, 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 you don't have to. It's not really important. I think it's still important. If you don't know how to speak to an AI, or if you don't know what to type to an AI, it will always give you a bad output. So if you type in a very bad input, it's going to give you a bad output. So you need to make sure that your thoughts are organized, so that your prompts are organized, so that you can get organized, really good output from the AI. If you give the AI a messy prompt, based on maybe messy thoughts or something like that. By the way, I'm not referring to the football player Messi here. So I'm talking about messy as in like you know what I mean. Yeah, so messy thoughts equals messy prompts equals messy output from the AI. So make sure that when you write a prompt, you think about it. And you can, by the way, of course, you can use ChatGPT here. You can just simply write whatever comes into your mind and just write it on ChatGPT, and then ask it to organize it for you into maybe into labels or categories or something. I do this sometimes, because sometimes I have a lot of thoughts in my head, like rambling in my head, and I'm like, I don't know how to. Sometimes I'll be honest with you, sometimes I have difficulty organizing the thoughts. It's because I'm thinking about so many different things at the same time, like so many ideas. So what I usually do, like without ChatGPT, what I usually do, I just calm down. I maybe write it on a paper, or maybe just try to take my time to think about it. Sometimes I rely on ChatGPT here to help me to organize these thoughts. I mean, I don't do this every time, but sometimes it's helpful, and it's nice to have an AI do that for you. Obviously, don't rely so much on. Sorry, I keep kicking the tripod here. Anyway, as I was saying, don't rely so much on an AI for everything. Try to give yourself a chance to think about things, to discover things, to explore things, to be curious about things. So yeah, curiosity is very important, especially now in an AI-driven world. Another thing that I wanted to add about prompt engineering, I don't know. I hope I'm gonna try to put it into nice words here. So yeah, I've in 2023 I've seen a lot of prompts, but this was in 2023. I don't know if they still do it nowadays. Obviously now we have AI agents that of course rely on detailed prompt, but now things are much more advanced. But yeah, I remember when before people used to sell prompts online. They used to write prompts related to business modeling, like a prompt that help you to design your business model or to help you to write a business plan or something. Of course, the issue here is you see that the person who's selling this, some of them, they have a username. Could be a social media profile, could be just a profile, but it's more like a username and you don't know if that person is real. So how can you make sure that the prompt, or nowadays the AI agent, is created by someone who's experienced? Transparency is really important here. So when you say you created a prompt that can help individuals to generate a fully functional business plan or business model, you need to show them that you are also someone who has qualifications and experience to create something like that. Because if let's say if you copy someone's work, let's say you find a research paper or something and you copy their work and you put it into the AI system, and then you ask it to create a prompt based on that person's work, and that prompt then you sell it to people, that's not very authentic, that's not original. And even if the prompt works, the thing is, what's tricky about building AI agents or prompts here is that you always need to make sure that the output is reliable, it's trustworthy. If you want to build a prompt or an AI agent related to a specific area, make sure you are experienced or you have good amount of knowledge in that area. Yeah, it's just I like to always use prompts or maybe buy prompts or use AI agents that are created by people who not only experienced in creating prompts or AI agents, but also experienced in the area the AI agent and the prompt is specialized in. So this was a long talk about prompts. So yeah, it's just so that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I am using CapCut here. And by the way, guys, what softwares do you use when you want to edit something? Well, what do you usually use? This is getting cold very fast. I mean, here in the UK, it's a bit cold at the moment, so I can understand why. Anyway, so what softwares do you use? So long time ago, I think I remember I used to use, what is it called? Adobe Premium Rush, something like that. I used to use this long time ago in 2020, 2021, especially when I used to do, so what happened back then is when there was the lockdowns here in the UK and everywhere around the world, we had to continue teaching online, basically. So face-to-face was very difficult. I mean, we did face-to-face teaching a bit later, but yeah, in the beginning it was a little bit difficult to do face-to-face teaching. So during the lockdowns, we taught online, and we came up with a plan basically to do a lot of the things as a pre-recorded session, and some stuff was live online basically. So I think what I did in my course, in my modules, was I pre-recorded lectures, and and the seminars were live, live online on Microsoft Teams. When I pre-recorded those lectures, it was, I don't remember, maybe 40 minutes, something like that. But obviously, because it's a pre-recorded, maybe you can do, let's say, a 30-minute talk, And then if you have to record, let's say 50 minutes, you can do 30 minutes talk and then 25 minutes of exercise. But you have to basically explain the exercise and everything, and then maybe give the answer in the video a bit later. So something like Udemy or Coursera, something like that. So I remember I used to use Adobe Premiere Rush. I think it was free back then. I'm not really sure if it's free at the moment. Maybe it was free, or maybe because I was a staff lecturer at the university, maybe they provided it as a free software. I don't remember, to be honest. This was almost 6 years ago. Yeah, so now I'm using CapCut, as you can see here, and yeah, I mean I mean, I love CapCut. It's good, but every time I open it, my laptop just start to get hot, start to heat up. So that's the part that I don't like. Sometimes it's a bit slow, but it's fine. Hey, at least it's for free. I mean, oh no, actually, hang on a second. It is for free, but I just remembered I'm paying a subscription because there are some stuff I need to access as well. I think I'm paying a subscription, so I'll double check. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So it's a 1 hour and 15 minutes podcast. I need to check the voice, the audio. I need to see if yeah, if everything is okay. By the way, guys, I always make sure that when I do a podcast episode, I really don't want to cut out parts. I really just I'm trying my best to be as transparent as possible, as genuine as possible when I edit. I don't want to edit parts and make it look like I said something else, but originally I just said something else, basically. So I don't want to do that. So, but if there's something that really doesn't make any sense, let's say, for example, I say something and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Why did I say that? I mean, these things happen. And I mean, I totally understand now streamers, they sometimes they get really tired, they get really frustrated, bothered, and they're streaming live, and they make mistakes, and sometimes it's very difficult to correct this mistake, and they have to explain themselves and over explain themselves, and I really appreciate their efforts. Streamers, they're doing a difficult job, and maybe one day I'm gonna stream. I don't know. I thought about it, to be honest, this morning, and I mean, I can do a YouTube live if you guys wanted. I can just stream, and more like a behind the scenes stream, or it could be a podcast stream, or it could be about anything else related to the company, related to Risovent, as this video is part of the company. But yeah, I mean, let's see. If you guys want me to stream, let me know, and I'll think about it. So it's not a promise, but I will definitely think about it. So yeah, this is yeah. So I'm using CapCut. I always make sure everything is good. Yeah, and I think I wanted to. Yeah, as you can see here, ChatGPT is ready. I'm not using it at the moment, but if I want, I can. Sometimes I use ChatGPT in many things related to the company. It's really helpful. It's like it's like it types, it writes things for you, basically based on your knowledge, your thoughts, your ideas. And of course, you cannot rely 100% on an AI on ChatGPT. You always need to double check that information, whether it's a prompt or an AI agent or anything. You always need to verify. You always need to double check. So that's very important. Yeah, so yesterday I was checking the website. The one thing I didn't explain is something called Creative Pockets. I mean, maybe I will do a separate video, to be honest, about this, because Creative Pockets, it's like at the heart of Risovent, or what you guys like to call it sometimes, Risovent. I heard a lot of people say Risovent, but I already explained it's called Risovent, and I explained why I say Risovent in the previous behind the scenes video. Anyway, so this is a Creative Pocket thing, and that's like the heart of Risovent, and that's like a very important thing. One thing I wanted to show you here, So if you go take a look here, so this is all of the all of the social media platforms that we are in. So LinkedIn, we are interactive on LinkedIn, maybe not as much as TikTok, let's say, or Instagram, but we are interactive on LinkedIn. So there's Instagram. Of course, if you wanna, I'll be grateful if you can follow, watch the videos. If you like what the company stands for, because at the end of the day, I'm the director of the company. I represent the company and what it stands for. Yeah, we basically want to make sure that innovation or creativity is democratized. Like, it's not just in the hands of few people working in specific departments like R&D or UX UI individuals, or software engineer people. No, we want to make sure that all employees will learn about these skills because, um, like I previously said in the previous podcast episode, human creativity and human innovation, and especially human imagination, can work well with the power of AI. So if you rely 100% on the power of AI, becomes a super intelligent thing, basically, that's not enough. You still need human imagination. And this is where, this is where my company comes in. And like I previously said, we train employees how to transform these imagination into ideas, and then these ideas into practical stuff like a software, an app, a dashboard, maybe a product, and so on. So we want to make sure that all employees will learn how to do this, because when AI takes over 30, 40, 50% of their job tasks, we want to make sure employees' jobs are protected. So, and they are protected. And yeah, they will have something that an AI still cannot do, basically. So we're trying to make sure that that happen, and to make sure that human beings will always have the upper hand when it comes to an AI driven world. So we are also on Instagram and TikTok. We're also on TikTok here. Okay. And what else? Spotify. Spotify, as I said, this was the first platform I used to do the podcast. I'll see if I need to update anything here. And of course, finally, YouTube. So we have the YouTube channel, which is how you found us. And yeah, so it's a new, by the way, YouTube, as you can see, it's a new channel. So we don't have, we still don't have a lot of videos, but we're doing our best, to provide more content that is beneficial for you. So these are the social media platforms that we are on. And if you have any questions, you want to contact us, you would like us to train your employees. So if you're a manager, someone who works at the company, if you would like the company Risovent to train your employees, so you can easily just, you know where to find us. So we are in the White Building Studios in Southampton, but that's only if you want to meet us face to face. If you can't, and most people usually they contact us online, so you can just email us here, and or you can just schedule a meeting. So if you click on book now, yeah, it's just gonna take you to a form, and you can just fill it, and yeah, and we'll receive the email, and we'll meet you. We'll meet with you, and you can also you can also fill the contact form if you want. I will still receive it. One last thing I wanted to say, speaking of contact form, just remind me, I don't know how it is with companies nowadays, but I noticed when you try to contact potential clients or companies, basically, it is so hard to even contact someone at the company, especially if you want to propose a collaboration or present your services, or just simply ask for a meeting to to just present the service. And of course, it's not by force. They can say yes or no. It's really difficult to really contact a department or a group working group or something. It's always info at, contact at. Now in my company, I'm doing the same thing. It's contact at, but I always respond to emails like all the time. I never ignore anything unless it's a scam or a spam email, something like that. And I get a lot of these emails, by the way. They're so annoying. This reminds me, I need to delete a lot of emails in my inbox. So, I mean, let's hope I can do that. But yeah, but when we are talking about big companies, of course, Risovent is a startup company. But when we are talking about the huge companies, big companies, I don't want to mention names here, but I mean, sometimes they respond, but maybe after a long time. Some of them I noticed they respond like the next day or within, let's say, 5 days or something, which is acceptable. It's fine. But yeah, I mean, I know one of the best methods is using LinkedIn, but I feel like if I want to contact a person on LinkedIn directly, it will make me or my company look like we're spamming or something. And I don't want to give that impression. The thing is, guys, when it comes to running a startup company, you have to take care of the reputation, the image of the company. You don't want to build a bad foundation, and you don't want to have a bad reputation. Like you don't want your business to have a bad reputation from the start, from the beginning, because later it will be difficult to fix, especially if it becomes, if it becomes part of your foundation, part of your company foundation, I mean. So I always try my very best to maintain a good image of the company because I'm the director of the company, so I'm responsible for it. So I have to maintain a very strong image, good image of the company. So yeah, but sometimes I think maybe I'll just start contacting people on LinkedIn. Maybe it's gonna work. Who knows? But we will see. Anyway, this was almost 34 minutes, 35 minutes behind. No, that's 34 minutes behind the scenes. Yeah, I have a lot of other stuff I wanted to share with you. And, of course, I wish I can just share everything with you in one video, but it's better maybe to save it for another behind the scenes. Now, if you like this content, if you like behind the scenes stuff, if you like our podcast episode, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And make sure you also follow our pages on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn. And if you send Risovent an email, or you fill the contact form, or maybe a DM on social media, I'll be the one responding to you. So, and I'll do this as soon as possible, as fast as I can, because I will have other emails, other people to respond to as well. But I promise I will respond to you as soon as possible. All right. If I don't, you can just simply nudge me, like remind me, because sometimes I get busy with work and I forget. So if you like this content, make sure you subscribe, you follow, you like our videos, you share our videos. And if you like what Risovent stands for, and how we are really trying to shape things, to change things within workplace cultures, you can also subscribe and follow us on social media. Hope you enjoyed this content, and we'll see you next time with a new one. Thank you.